You got it, Mike.
I want to rock and roll all night.
By 55%, yes. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you back here next week.
See you.
So long, everybody.
I am especially excited for Caitlin Cody,
Oh.
a lovely co-host today, because it has been feeling like Thursday for you all week. And it is finally Friday. I want to congratulate you.
No, it's my Thursday. I work tomorrow.
What? You work tomorrow?
Anthony, yes.
The never-ending Thursday. I didn't know you were working tomorrow.
I know. I get to work with Jake, though, which will be super fun in the morning,
yeah.
you know. Yeah, no, I was very confused this morning even. I was doing the
all
weather.
week you've been
so off. I was like, yeah, Friday night, we have the chance for storms. I'm like, why did I say Friday night? Today is Friday. So that was a little brain fart that I had.
Oh, like you would have normally just said tonight, like a regular person.
Yes,
and you said Friday night.
Friday night. So what day is?
I don't know if you ever caught up on your week.
My day.
But you're gonna have to reset.
And now I think I'm getting sick. I think I told you I've been taking the cold cough medicines.
Yeah.
We'll get through it. You guys, you know what? We're alive and we're cruising.
Well, I've been in a fierce battle with the sty on my left eye all week.
Hot compresses galore.
Hot compress. It's almost gone. I doubt our close-up cam can even pick it up, but it's like looks like a little pimple right on my eyelid. It's a clogged tear duct for anyone who's been through it. It's like having a pebble in your shoe in a way. It's not painful at all. It's just
annoying.
You can just feel it every time you blink.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Are you and Maggie minimalists?
Minimalists. We try to be.
Okay.
We try to be.
Okay.
Why do you ask?
I feel like you would be, because you guys are a really hip, cool couple.
You know.
Like I can imagine walking into your house
We do pretty well for having two kids. You know, when things get cluttery and when the junk drawer starts to really kind of overflow. Yeah. I will say that Maggie is way better than me at decluttering the junk drawer. But we try to keep things, you know, one in, one out.
Okay. That's great.
We're going to get some expert advice.
One out. Yeah. The reason I'm asking that is because we're talking to a decluttering expert.
I am excited about this. I've kind of got that. There's a little bit of OCD. Yeah. For me, like I've let some of it go having kids. You know, it's like you do have to let go a little bit of that, like.
Do you leave toothpaste in your sink?
There's toothpaste in the sink sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of stuff, but. It does this whole segment appeals to me, you know, like that, you know, Marie Kondo.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Exactly. Like I try to do that. If it brings you, if you look at the object and it brings you joy, you keep it. If you look at that object, you're like, and it's not like a heck yes. It's just like a. Yeah. You gotta get rid of that thing.
I'm all about it.
So I cannot wait to speak with her, and she's going to be joining us toward the end of the hour. We're also going to be talking about the Chicago Fire. They have clinched a playoff berth, and I'm so excited. We're talking to the head of the operations head for the company, or for the team, I should say. And Caitlin, are you at all familiar with the 78? It's this huge parcel of land just south of the Loop. It is such a cool plot of land, okay? And it's sat vacant for years and years. It's right on the south branch of the Chicago River, and it is just waiting to be developed. And the Chicago Fire, they're going to be building this stadium.
Perfect.
And so we got the renderings. We're going to be speaking with him, so that's going to be awesome.
So exciting.
And then also, let's get straight to this first segment. Caitlin, I don't even know that we haven't talked about this yet. Are you a haunted house person?
What do you think?
I'm going to guess no, but I'm guessing you'd make an exception for the kids.
My kids would hate haunted houses. Not that you guys shouldn't visit this haunted house. That's not what I'm saying.
They're too young?
They're too young. We went to, where did we go? We went to that pumpkin patch over the weekend.
Oh, Sunny's?
No, the big one.
Kuipers?
Yeah, no.
Oh.
Do you guys know what it's called? The big pumpkin patch? I'll have
There's a lot of big pumpkin.
Well, they had a little haunted like farmhouse thing in there, and I was like, let's go. And then my oldest, typical oldest, she was like, no way, no way. And then my middle kid, the crazy one, Grady took her in there, but she ended up getting scared too and closed
She
her
got
eyes.
scared,
Do you
but
like haunted houses?
I used to like them a lot, and I'll still do it.
It was Bankston's.
Bankston's?
Yes, that's
okay.
right.
Well,
Yeah.
we are joined this morning by Kelly Packer, and she is with the Schaumburg Halloween Carnival. Hey, Kelly.
Hello, good morning.
I love the...
How cute! Okay, listen, my kids may not like Halloween haunted houses, but Halloween spirit, getting into the season, I am all about it.
Yes.
It's here, it's ready, right? Like, even witches need to come out and talk about it.
Yes, we are so happy you're joining us. Okay, so this kicks off, the carnival kicks off on October 17th. Is that, my math is, or my date, my calendar,
Let's
is
see.
it?
It's
that
today.
That's today. See, I pulled a Caitlin Cody. I said October 17th, and that's just
Yeah, it's
today, so I'm not
today.
speaking like a regular person.
I know it.
Yay, it kicks off today. Tell us what this is all about. It's out in Schaumburg. What is the Halloween Carnival, Kelly? Run us through all the highlights.
Absolutely. So this is the 4th year for the Schaumburg Halloween Carnival, but we also have House of Creeps Haunted House joining us for the 3rd year. And you'll both love this because if you're not, a big fan of being super scared, we do have blackout dates this year where, we'll see if the creeps can find you, where you can walk around with glow sticks, but we also have kids hours. So that's really great for, little ones, people under 12, absolutely, so they can kind of go in and experience and kind of get used to the festivities of what a haunted house is, and that takes place from 2 to 5 p.m. most Saturdays and Sundays. So the carnival and haunted house, they are going from October 17th. They open this evening, and the haunted house goes through November 1st, whereas the carnival goes through November 1st, like 1 p.m. So it's going to be a really fun couple weekends ahead.
So what does the carnival have? Are there vendors and things? Like, what can we look forward to for that?
Absolutely. It's your classic carnival, right? We're going to have a lot of really fun rides. We're also going to have all the classic things that kids and families love. There's a lot of really good indulgent, like fair food and treats. There's caramel apples. But then for kids, we're also doing trick-or-treating. There's a free crafts tent where kiddos can make, they have really cute little lanterns they can create and go trick-or-treating around to the vendors. So there's costume contests. There's really something for everyone, adults and kids alike.
That sounds super fun. I know, I love that Halloween has become, she said adults and kids alike. It really, I mean, you're dressed up today, Kelly. This has taken on such a life of its own for adults. I feel like for adults, Halloween is almost becoming as big of a deal as it is for the kids.
Absolutely. I mean, it's fun for all, right? I mean, I think we're all, especially in these times, we're grasping onto the little bit of joy we have. So it's like, let's just dress up. Let's have fun with it. It's supposed to be a fun holiday, and people can just, we have the costume contest, so kids and adults can both participate in that. It's just good, wholesome fun, for everybody to get out and experience a little bit of Halloween. And there's, like I said, a little bit of everything for everybody. If you're a foodie, you can eat. If you want to have a nice cocktail, there's a haunted bar heading into House of Creeps. If you want to be scared, you can go through House of Creeps. If not, go enjoy a ride on the Ferris wheel with a friend or loved one.
Okay, so the weather is going to be phenomenal. I know a lot of times Halloween in Chicagoland is cold and you got to layer it up with the sweatshirts. Tonight is going to be warm, so the perfect night to go. My question to you is, with the carnival, is it creepy at all? Like, let's say someone's very sensitive to the scary stuff. They got little kids. How close in proximity is this haunted house and the carnival? Like, can you go to the carnival without being spooked at all?
Yes, absolutely you can, for sure. It is separate. So it's out at Schaumburg Wintrust Stadium, which is home to the Schaumburg Boomers baseball team. So the great part about that is that the carnival actually takes place outside. They convert their entire parking lot, which if you've ever been out there for a game, it is massive. So people and families who don't want anything to do with the haunted house, that is perfectly fine. You can enjoy the carnival free of being, spooked. But for those that want to enjoy the haunted house, you can certainly go into the stadium. It's taking place at the walkway of the stadium and on the first floor. So it is a little bit separated, which is nice for those that, prefer not to be scared the whole time.
Kelly, tell us what goes into this, not only the carnival, but the House of Creeps. Is it all volunteers? Is it folks with the city of Schaumburg? How do you guys pull together the team to make this whole thing happen?
Oh, absolutely. So House of Creeps has been around for quite some time. They started years ago, creating almost like a homemade haunted house, and it grew into this great business. So of course they do have volunteers that come in, and a full staff that comes in, and they decorate the entire space. There's really fun themes. I believe if you come up this year, we're going to have almost, it looks like haunted car coming up into the haunted house, and then they come in and decorate. So it's really a team, a team experience where people are coming together to, make Halloween really fun for the people that want to be a little bit, scared and embrace the holiday.
Kelly, if somebody has never been to Schaumburg, but they want to take their family to go enjoy your event, are there any hot spots in Schaumburg that they should go see during the daylight hours, maybe somewhere to catch a bite to eat beforehand? What are like the must-go-sees in Schaumburg?
So there's a lot to do, right? Like, it's a really great suburb. There's a lot of boutique restaurants. There's some really nice shopping and stuff too. But, I really encourage everybody to just look at your local guide. There's so many out there that, if you want to go to, the carnival or haunted house, and then you want to grab dinner afterwards, look at all these local guides, because there really is something for everybody in the Schaumburg and greater Chicagoland area. I like to think of it for folks coming from downtown, at least when I would go for sure, is, just kind of taking a little road trip, making an afternoon of it. Maybe we'll get some cider at one of the pumpkin patches on the way, and then we'll come out, we'll go to the carnival, we'll get a little bit scared, and calm our nerves with the haunted bar, and then go home.
There you go.
You can really make a day out of it if you want to.
That you painted a great picture. It's like a little mini road trip. I love it. Kelly, are you seeing in the whole planning process, are you seeing any themes emerge this Halloween with regard to costumes, either on the adult side or the kids side or the decorating side?
K-pop demon hunters everywhere.
I'm just wondering what we're going to see a lot of this year.
Yeah.
There is a lot of, you're right, K-pop demon hunters. That's going to be a big one. But, I think what's really great is Wicked's coming out, the second part of Wicked.
Yeah.
So, I do think that people have started to re-embrace the witches a little bit more, whether you're, on a good witch or a perceived bad witch. So I definitely think that we're going to see a lot of witches out there. We've had quite a few movies hit. There's been some superhero movies and things like that. So, I think we're going to see a lot of the classics this year, which is really cool because, we always have, kids and firemen and, maybe cowboy outfits. But I think this year we're going to see a little bit more of the traditional witches, black cats, and that perceived side of that good and scary.
So fun. Anthony, do you dress up?
From time to time.
What about this year?
Let's see. This year, I don't have an outfit planned.
Okay.
Jero wants me to, he keeps saying that he wants me to be the Onceler, which is from Lorax, because he really likes the Lorax right now.
That's darling. Are you kidding? Oh my
But the thing is, the Onceler in the Dr. Seuss book is just, all it is green arms. You never see the Onceler's face. It's just green arms, so I guess I could put on some green sleeves.
There you go.
Kelly, how about you? Are you gonna go with the witch outfit, or are you going all out for Halloween?
Okay, so you're going to laugh. I say the traditional thing, is hot this year, but our neighbors and we are actually getting together, and we are going as various fruits, like Fruit of the Loom. So I will be going as grapes. My husband is going as a banana. Our neighbors are going, is like one's an apple and one's, so it's almost like those classic, if you recall the 90s, early 2000s Fruit of the Loom ads.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. That was right where my head went. Those old ads. That is hilarious. That's hysterical. How many people are in your costume, your group costume?
We have six. We have six. So we're just going to be a big bowl of fruit walking
I love
around.
it.
So
Nobody's
good.
going to miss us.
That's so
I have
good.
a question. For the families who are bringing their kiddos, you mentioned them going around and getting candy from different vendors. Is this peanut free? What about kids with allergies?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are being cautious about that. We do ask parents, just stick close to your kiddos and make sure, just like any time going trick or treating on the night of Halloween or right around, to always just check your kiddos' candy. They are vendors. There are vendors that do work with peanuts, peanut oils, and other common allergy things. So do make sure that you are checking your kiddos' candy. But we're going to take as many safety precautions as possible to make sure that everyone is safe and having a great time and can enjoy their sweet treats.
Before we let you go, Kelly, what do people need to know about tickets? Can they just show up, or do you advise people getting tickets in advance?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can show up and get tickets, but for the haunted house, especially as we get closer to Halloween, it's going to be very popular. So we do encourage people to purchase tickets in advance online, and you can find all of the information for not only House of Creeps, but also the carnival in general by going to SchaumburgHalloween.com, and that will direct you to the ticket link. And in fact, when you go to the website, you get to choose your experience. You can click on Schaumburg Halloween Carnival or House of Creeps. So we even have that a little bit segmented for folks.
All right,
Nice.
awesome. Hey, have an awesome time. Please send in a picture of the group costume. We always ask for our viewers to send in their costumes. I want to see the Fruit of the Loom.
I want to be a banana for Halloween.
Wouldn't that be fun?
So fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it.
Kelly, thank you so
Absolutely.
much. Thanks for joining us. Really
Thank you.
appreciate it. All right, we're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about the Chicago Fire's first playoff appearance since 2017. And what I'm truly excited about as well is this new stadium.
Yeah.
It is about to go in at the 78. We're going to be speaking with the owner and, is it the owner and chairman or the head of operations? I'll get his title during the break, but we're going to be back with him when we come back. Welcome back to Chicago Fire. They have clinched a berth in the 2025 MLS Cup playoffs, giving the Fire their 14th appearance in the postseason since their inaugural 1998 season. This is the first time since 2017 too, as well. And so we are joined this morning by the president of business operations for the club, Mr. David Baldwin. Thank you for being here, Dave. Really appreciate it. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's good to be back in the playoffs. Been too long. We want to make this a recurring thing here.
What made this year different?
So a couple things. We just hired Greg Berhalter last year, former coach of the U.S. men's national team. He brought a completely new offensive system along with some new players. So this year the team's #2 in goals scored, and we won a lot on the road. It's sort of rare in soccer to win a lot on the road. You'll hear a lot of times teams when they go on the road, they almost try and play for a tie, because in soccer you can tie. And we actually were #2 in the league with 11 road wins as well.
That's amazing.
Yeah, very competitive.
What is it about soccer that makes it so favorable? I mean, I know in all sports, you know, the home team has the advantage, but it seems like it's particularly the case when it comes to soccer. Why is that?
Soccer's a little unique in that you can play for a draw. You can, you know, as the game starts to kind of get in the final minutes compared to maybe in the NBA or NFL where you'll see them trying to play for the win. A lot of times in soccer you go, okay, we went on the road, we had a really long road trip, and at this point it's tied 1-1. We're not going to press, we're just going to try and, you know, kind of hang back. But Greg has done a great job getting the guys to really go out and score a ton of goals this year, and it's been really effective and helped us climb the rankings. And yeah, to your point, now we're in the playoffs, and
amazing.
It's the table is still pretty up in the air. So this weekend is the last weekend for regular season, and our playoff standings, we can move 3 or 4 spots depending how everything shakes out. So a lot of parity this weekend. We'll be paying close attention.
How are the vibes? I'm sure the energy is running high moving forward.
Yes,
everybody's healthy and good, ready to go.
Everyone's feeling really good. Yeah, we're pretty excited. Pretty stoked.
Really, really cool. Okay, so how many more regular season games do you guys have? Just one.
This is it. We play on the road tomorrow night in New England.
Oh, in New England. Okay, and there's a couple other games that are going to be determining everyone's seed in the playoffs.
So it's not just our game, but the teams ahead of us. Right. If they lose, we could quickly surpass. So I think we could finish anywhere from 5th to 9th. You know, the top 9 teams qualify.
But you're definitely in.
We are in.
Okay. How are the playoffs structured?
So there's a play-in game, so there's a wild card. The 8-9 play each other. The 8 hosts the 9, and then it's basically 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7, and that first round is a best of 3. So away, home, away, or home, away, home.
Is there one particular team that you guys are nervous to play?
I don't think so. I think at this point we've proven that we can kind of play with anybody. The team a couple weeks ago went down to Miami, played Inter Miami with Messi and Suarez and all their international stars. We won 5-3.
Whoa!
So a lot of goals were scored, and a lot of our homegrown players, guys from Chicago. That's one of the unique things about soccer is half of our team are guys that are born and raised here in Chicagoland.
Wow.
And the last couple goals were scored by our homegrowns, which was great.
I love that.
Okay, so if there are 8 teams, well, the play-in game.
Yep.
And then there's 8 teams, and the first round is a best of 3. Are all the rounds best of 3?
Just that first round, then it goes sudden death.
Then it goes sudden death. Okay, so how long do the playoffs last? I know, like, a lot of people say the NBA, you know, the playoffs are like their own season.
Yeah.
How long do the playoffs
go? Late November, early December.
Okay.
So, you know, again, a little bit new to us. We haven't been there in a while, so we're hoping to be in it as long as possible. And I think, you know, a great first step this year was, okay, let's make and qualify for the playoffs. Now let's see how far we can go, how competitive can we be.
I feel so. I was telling Dave that my son has gone to a couple games. I want to say, well, one of them was at Soldier Field for sure, but then I feel like the other one was it down in Bridgeview?
In Bridgeview. So we used to play at SeatGeek Stadium in Bridgeview. Then the team moved to Soldier Field when Joe Mansueto purchased the club. So the first thing he did is spend $65 million to move down to the iconic Soldier Field, and that's where we play most of our home games. We're slated to play all of our games there, but sometimes concerts or the Chicago Bears schedule messes with things. And so occasionally we have to move games out to Bridgeview.
My question is, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
About the players. You said you have a lot of homegrown players.
Yes.
Does that play to an advantage for a soccer player who's trying out for your squad, or does that not have anything to do with who's on the team?
It's interesting. So in soccer, we have an academy program where we actually scout kids from, you know, the age of 11, 12, all the way up through the end of high
Holy
school.
smokes.
And they have an opportunity to actually come and train with us at the Endeavor Health Performance Center, new $100 million performance center we built on the near west side, best in all of MLS. And they can actually do their schooling there, nutrition, weight training. They get an Adidas gear for free. They sign a contract with us, and then they actually have the opportunity to come on up and go to our senior team at a really young age. So we actually started a kid this year named Christopher Cups. He's on the U17 U.S. men's national team for U17. And so he's like in high school, and he plays on our team. And so I can't imagine being like a junior in high school and like
What a
going to
life.
practice,
Like prom.
What a life.
I gotta.
sports. Yeah.
Hey,
Whoa.
don't go too nuts at prom. You got practice the next day.
Yeah.
That is remarkable.
Yeah.
I know we don't have renderings of the practice facility, but I keep hearing about this this $100 million facility.
Yeah.
Will you tell us a little bit about that, how it came to be, and what sets it apart? Because I'm hearing that it's not just the best
Oh, here we
in
go.
the league. But oh yeah, this is the rendering of the future stadium.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
Look
and
at
it's
that.
right on the South Branch. I'm so excited for that.
Whoa.
Before we talk more about that facility and what is in the future for this team, how did this training facility come about?
Sure.
And what sets it apart from the rest of the league?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think both are in line with Joe Mansueto's vision for the club, which is that a world-class city like Chicago deserves a world-class football club, and a world-class football club deserves a world-class home, and that means a home to train and a home to play. And so the home to train was first and foremost. That way we could attract the best players in the world, and we could help kids from Chicago become the best players in the world, right? And so it has every medical advancement you could think of: underwater treadmill, a sauna that you can fit the whole team in, a cryo chamber that you walk into for 2 minutes and it's like you're in an ice bath for 45 minutes.
I've done that before.
No way.
Yeah,
Not there, but I've done
Sure.
it.
So it's those type of things plus 5.5 pitches.
Wow.
The best grass in Chicago. There's underground heating and sprinkling and everything else that goes along with it. So that is, some of the care that went into developing that. Most teams will spend $25 or $30 million and do it out in the suburbs. But for Joe, it was important that it was really here in the city and no expense was spared. Manchester United trained there a couple months ago.
Wow.
Some other countries that are going to be visiting the U.S. For the World Cup next year want to use that as their home base. And so that same care and attention that went into developing that is going to go into the stadium that we just saw the renderings of.
Before we talk about this,
Yeah.
I do want to know, what are international players, what is their reaction when they see the training facility?
Most of them take out their phone and they start posting on
That's right.
Instagram about how great it is.
Wait, Dave, do you get to work out in that facility?
It's a good question.
Is that a work perk
I don't
of
think
yours?
anyone wants to see me work out there.
Oh, come
I think I would be
on.
embarrassed, with the athletes working out.
All right, well,
So.
about the new stadium.
Yes,
What was
okay.
that process like, getting to these final plans? I'm sure it was an extensive
Years long?
Yeah.
years-long process.
Yeah. So we did start this process over a year ago, working closely with Joe. We went and looked at the top sites throughout the city, and we fell in love with the 78, which is this undeveloped part right adjacent to the South Loop. It hasn't been used in 5 decades. It's a 62-acre site. And
62
Yeah, it's massive.
acres.
Caitlin, if you go on like Google
Maps?
and
Hold
just,
on, wait, I'm gonna do it right
It's
now.
almost a head scratch. You're like, this parcel of land is so prime.
Yeah.
What was it before?
Well, yeah, you said 5 decades ago. I don't
So it used to be like an old rail yard, like an old Amtrak rail yard. It's about 8 or 9 blocks just west of Soldier Field down Roosevelt. So if you're looking on Google Maps or Google Earth, you can see that. And it became evident to us that this was the perfect site. It has amazing public transportation. It's right there on the river. It's right in the heart of the city, and it's undeveloped, sort of this fallow land that's just sat there for a long time. And so Joe's going to come in and privately fund this. It's a $750 million investment to put a stadium there, which will end up being the catalyst for the rest of the neighborhood getting developed, which once it's fully built out will be about $8 billion of development. This is going to create thousands of jobs for local Chicagoans. And the best part is it's going to bring together people of all different backgrounds. Sports is one of those few things that can really amaze, unite, and inspire a city. Because when we get together for 90 minutes on Saturday night to cheer on the Fire, people put aside race, religion, political differences, and they all cheer for the Fire, and they all cheer for the men in red. And so that's something that we're really excited about.
I can't wait, because to your point about the location, people are already used to coming together right around there for the Bears. You get your high rollers from the suburbs coming down into Soldier Field. Then you got all kinds of the more blue collar crowd down there. This is right near the Roosevelt. Essentially, red, brown. I mean, there's a bunch of different lines right there.
I think it's orange, red, and green line are all right there.
I'm going to try to, okay, so is it between Roosevelt and South Clark? That's it?
That's it.
Okay, so I'm
massive.
looking at like the places around there. I see there's a Trader Joe's. Are there going to be a lot of like restaurants being put in?
Yeah, so that's the idea.
By here?
Once the stadium gets built, that's sort of the anchor tenant, right? So this is a site that in the past has been pitched for a variety of different potential uses, including when Amazon was looking to come to the city. And so yeah, the Related Midwest, the developer, they have aspirations and ambitions to then go put a variety of mixed-use real estate, primarily residential. There will be some restaurants, bars, et cetera.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, the south branch of the river goes right by there. Like whenever I do like a boat tour, a boat ride, see how big that is?
I think that this, and it's going to preserve the waterfront there.
Exactly. Yeah, you know what? They have been doing these floating islands there. What's the vision for the? Why don't we dive into that a little bit? What's your understanding of what the vision is going to be for the just the water access there on the south branch?
So there is. The seawall right there needs some work, right? And so that part will end up getting, the seawall will get redeveloped, and then over time I think that's where you'll start to see bars, restaurants, and the residential kind of come to life on that site. So this won't all happen overnight. I think it's important to note that. The stadium, so we'll break ground in early 26, and it will be ready for the 28 season. And that is such a big development. It's about 10 and a half of the acres there. But it's not just 10 acres, it's cranes and it's trucks and everything else moving on and off. So that has to get developed first. And once that happens, then you'll start to see some of those other things pop up in future years.
In terms of capacity for the stadium, I know that there's a Goldilocks zone.
Yeah, there is.
Right. Talk about the thinking there, what the seating capacity is going to be, the thinking there on that, and then maybe some of the other events that we might see happen in that stadium.
Yes, absolutely. So the stadium is going to be 22,000 seats for a soccer match. It'll go up to 31,000 for a concert when you consider the floor seating. When you talk about Goldilocks, if you build it too big, you fill it for your big events, but not on a daily basis. If you build it too small, no one can get a ticket. We want this to be really intimate. So not only is it a little bit on the lower end of what a potential capacity could look like, because we want there to be high demand, and we really want to create lots of value for our season ticket holders, but we also want it to be intimate. Because you just saw the site, it's long and narrow. That means that we can't have a very wide stadium. And so if you think about our iconic Wrigley Field and how it's intimate and how you're kind of on top of the action, it's the same thing here. We love playing at the iconic Soldier Field, but it's not purpose built for soccer. What this stadium will allow us to do is have our seats 35 feet closer to the field. Our upper level will be 45 feet lower to the field, so it's going to be lower and closer, which is going to really change the environment.
Do you think down the road, because I'm sure there's obviously a huge cost for this, are ticket prices going to go up? And also, might be a silly question, but you mentioned concerts. Is that a way for like the Fire to pay for this new stadium, is to have concerts in there?
Well, we're really fortunate that it's all getting paid for by Joe, right? What I would say is this is a bit of a passion project for him. So, yeah, I mean, I think obviously we'll try and recoup the investment a little bit, but this isn't necessarily a moneymaker. I do think having a thriving concert and event business, think international soccer friendlies, think rugby, think Kevin Hart or Sebastian Maniscalco or whoever your favorite stand-up comedian is, you know, playing there. So we'll be able to host a couple dozen of those, and those will primarily be in the summer, so that'll be great. And as far as ticket prices, we haven't determined ticket pricing yet. What I would say is there's been a lot of excitement and demand. I would encourage people to go check out dearchicago.com, D-E-A-R Chicago.com. There's an opportunity for people to join the wait list. We have about 15,000 individuals who have already signed up to get on the wait list. Since,
no way!
Since we announced just a couple months ago.
Amazing.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Okay, so, you know, we've been covering, I mean, ad nauseum, the Bears' effort to build in Arlington Heights, and there's so much back and forth between the Chicago Bears, City of Chicago, some alder people who are taking, or some local lawmakers that are taking exception with the move, and then kind of a public outcry for, hey, we don't want our tax dollars to help this team. What's it been like to sit back and like kind of watch this unfold? This is all privately funded. It's actually kind of mind-blowing when you think about that.
Yeah. You know, first and foremost, I think I'm really fortunate to get to work for Joe. I've worked in professional sports before this for about 15 years, a variety of, you know, NFL, NBA, the other leagues. And having an owner like Joe who, one, not only cares so much about the club, but really about this city. right? I mean, he's you know, grew up in the greater Chicagoland area. He built his business here, built his family here. He cares so much about this city. It was really important for him to build a stadium in the city. If he was going to do it, he was going to do it right.
In Chicago.
And so that's why we tried Soldier Field for a handful of years. And once we determined that wasn't the perfect place, he's very determined to do it right and do it first class all the way. As far as the Bears, you know, we cheer for them on Sundays. We hope that they go out and have a great season. I love what Ben Johnson's doing, and I think he's been a great addition. I know Kevin a little bit on a personal level, given my old NFL ties, and so, you know, we cheer them on. Best of luck with what they have going on in Arlington Heights. I look forward to being at the first game when it's built, if that all ends up happening. But we're really focused on us and taking care of our project at the 78.
You mentioned the wait list for people to get tickets. Do you feel like soccer or football is becoming more popular in the U.S. and especially in Chicagoland?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a global sport, right? It's the world's game. I think we've already seen it. Our attendance the last 3 years has been the highest in club history.
Wow.
And each of the last 3 years it's surpassed. So at this point we're averaging around 23,000 people a game. So if you think of a full United Center, that's what it's like for our games every game. The only issue is we play in an NFL stadium. It's kind of cavernous, and it's, you know, people are all spread out and it doesn't look as full. So if we're playing in a stadium that's that size, it will be packed, it'll be raucous, it'll be rowdy, it'll be a great time. And then with the World Cup coming next year, that is really just going to take this thing and be a massive catalyst.
Oh,
You're going to see boys and girls all around Chicago and Chicagoland suburbs that never had a soccer ball before, and now they're begging mom and dad next time they go to Target, hey, can we get a ball? Can I get shin pads? Can I get cleats? I want to go play.
Before we let you go, Dave, you mentioned Catalyst, okay? What will this stadium, along with the training facility, do for when it comes to getting the best players and the future success of the team? How much of a difference maker is all this going to be?
I think that this will be the thing that takes the Chicago Fire from maybe being a little bit kind of quieter to being part of the Chicago sports landscape, the lexicon, the zeitgeist of here's what it means to be a Chicago sports fan. If you go to Austin, if you go to Nashville, if you go to some of these cities who have added clubs recently, that is really one of the major teams in town that people pay attention to. You'll walk around, you'll see kids wearing jerseys. I actually was in Disney last week, and I saw someone wearing a Chicago Fire jersey.
No way.
And I went up to him, I was like, yes, this is amazing. And so we had a nice conversation with that. And so I think that this will really be the thing that, you know, you fast forward 5 years, and I think the Fire will be mentioned with the Cubs and the Bulls and the Blackhawks.
I love that.
Perfect. Dave, awesome. Congrats. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
It's gonna be resounding through the South Loop.
So fun.
Good luck with the playoffs. Hope it goes awesome, and thank you for joining us here in studio with all this exciting news. So awesome. All right, we're going to go to a quick break, but when we come back, we are going to be talking, we've been hearing about the value in times of uncertainty. Gold.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not a finance guy, but like gold and other precious metals, they like rally very strongly. Okay, and so we are going to get some insight into why this is, what this could mean for your money should you invest perhaps in gold or silver. We're going to be speaking with a wealth advisor when we come back after this short break.
10:39. All right, you guys, uncertain times, right? We keep talking about 401ks.
Complicated times.
Yeah, and the worry about the future, especially when it comes to money. In this case, we're talking about gold and silver. So these are tangible items, right, that you can buy. And in times of uncertainty, we're hearing that this is what you want to do. Invest in gold and silver, maybe sell it off. So we're going to dig into this because gold and silver touched new all-time highs again this week. Precious metals have rallied strongly in the past month amid this global trade tension and federal government shutdown and increased stock market volatility. So joining us with some insight into why this is and what this could mean for your money is founder and wealth advisor, excuse me, at VestGen Wealth Partners, Craig Bolanos. Good morning to you, Craig.
Hey, great to be with you. You know, we're not talking goals like the Chicago fire. We're talking about the crazy rise in gold prices today.
We reported this on our morning show the other day that Goldman Sachs was reporting that gold is going to keep going up probably through all of 2026. Is that correct?
You know, I've seen Goldman Sachs, I've seen B of A, that's Bank of America. Lots of people are raising their price target for everybody's favorite precious metal, gold, into 2026. Could we see 4,900 to 5,000 a troy ounce? That'd be another jump from where we're at today. I think, of course, we would, because there's a lot of various things that are driving this new trend.
Okay, so talking about gold and the cost, will it come back down, or is it one of those things where the price rises and then it stays elevated? We're not too familiar with that.
Well, Caitlin, here's what I know. Whether you're investing in stocks, bonds, gold, silver, Bitcoin, you name it, trees don't grow to the sky, and there will eventually be a fall from grace. But, I mean, this gold trade, I mean, it's up almost 100% since 24, up over 60% year to date, but it doesn't seem to have any ends in sight. So what do I tell clients? Are you chasing something that looks like a Mercury rocket ship, like a bottle rocket going up into the sky on the 4th of July? Of course you are. But in Wall Street, we have a saying, new highs tend to make new highs.
New highs.
Oh, wait, hold on. I need to unpack that. New highs tend to make what?
New highs.
New highs make new highs, and new lows make new lows. Everyone gets worried about investing, Anthony, at market highs, but the way the market goes higher is it climbs a wall of worry. And there's definitely a lot of worry out there today between government shutdowns, a declining dollar, different various forms of interest rates, and I'm pretty sure this entire trade and tariff situation is still happening.
Are you talking mostly to people who are about to retire or for young folks? Who should really be taking this seriously at this moment?
Well, I think, you know, investors come in all shapes and sizes, all age groups, all demographics, and all forms of wealth. And I think if somebody wants to build wealth, if someone wants to get retired and stay retired, then they need to build a well-curated, diversified portfolio. That means stocks, bonds, and other real forms of assets, gold and precious metals being one of those. So, Caitlin, I don't think it's for any particular age or demographic. I think it's an everyone discussion. That's why we're talking about it today on your show.
Okay, then let's talk about practically speaking. Okay, so how does one go about investing in gold, and at what price points can you kind of enter so that it would be worth it to pay you know, someone such as yourself who is familiar with navigating that kind of territory to make it kind of worth the effort?
Well, yeah, I think the first thing you got to think about, Anthony and Caitlin, is how do you want to make your purchase, if at all? I mean, is someone going to run out and buy gold bars? Probably not. Is someone going to find a local coin dealer and get some gold eagles, some Cougarons, some Canadian maple leaves? That's all just different types of coins that are in gold. Or maybe a lot of people who are investing, whether they're investing on their own, whether they're investing through a collaborative process with a financial advisor, they might use something like a gold ETF. And a gold ETF is nothing more than an investment vehicle that allows you to track the profit or loss in gold And I think it's the popularity of ETFs and investment platforms that are helping to drive this meteoric rise in the price.
Are you encouraging anyone, I mentioned the different age groups, to sell off their gold while it's high? Let's say if they are going to retire in the next couple of years?
Well, Caitlin, I just said that new highs tend to make new highs and the trend is your friend. So I'm not encouraging anybody, if they have an existing precious metals position, to sell it here today. After all, it looks like prices may continue to go higher, but remember, there's never a guarantee. What I would say, Caitlin, to your well thought out query is this: everybody should have a goal in mind. And if someone's going to own precious metals as a part of their assets, as a part of their portfolio, they should have a certain percentage that they want. And maybe that example for one investor is 2%, maybe for another investor it's 4%. But with the price in gold, once that price gets so high that the percentage of your portfolio that's weighted to gold becomes too much, then yes, you should look to take some profits and sell into the rally.
Wow. Okay, this is good food for thought. When we talk about diversifying that portfolio, been hearing a lot about gold, a lot about Bitcoin. Man, these
You get the tangible
cryptocurrencies.
gold.
Yes.
Don't let your kids get their
Craig,
hands on it.
thank you so much for getting our minds racing on this one. We appreciate your time, sir.
Hey, great to be with you both.
All right, back here in Chicago. Looks like he's in a nice sunny location there. Maybe he's in Chicago. It's pretty sunny out at the moment.
Not bad.
We are going to go to a quick break, but here's another way you can plan for the future, and that is not having such a cluttered home so that, like, in 20 years, you have like a 3 or 4 month decluttering project. We are going to be speaking with an expert when it comes to addressing the problem of, I don't want to say hoarding, but can we call it hoarding tendencies?
Sure.
Okay, getting organized. We're going to be speaking with expert Jane Carr right after this short break.
We're talking about decluttering, and I mentioned off the top, okay? Usually it's spring cleaning. I think fall is the perfect time before you dig out all of your Christmas decorations. to get rid of stuff because you are going to be overwhelmed with all the clutter around. So we are joined by an expert.
Hi.
Yes, this is
Nice to be
Jane
here.
Carr. Thank you so much for coming in.
Awesome.
Okay, so we're talking about decluttering our own house, but also helping our parents declutter as they age, and so it doesn't get, you know, left behind, a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, so usually, so I do work in major hoards, but what I actually am getting the most questions about are people trying to downsize a loved one, right? And they're, usually there's a meeting where we decide that we're going to downsize the family home, right?
Intervention.
Yeah, kind of.
Intervention.
Kind of. It is. And, you know, then there's a weekend, maybe 2 weeks later, where the whole family's going to get together and they're going to go through everything. And it kind of goes off the rails. And that's when, right now, I'm getting a lot of phone calls about how to reach a loved one that maybe for some reason has to go from a large family home that they've been living in for decades to a much smaller space.
Yeah.
And I try to help people categorize everything a little bit down to use to help them see perspective. And so like a good example is that on the weekend that the whole family gets together, they all get in the kitchen and they kind of act like it's going to be a Nancy Meyers you know, movie where we're all going to play the music. And they get, they open the first cabinet, they go through the first shelf and they go, "Ma, do you want these glasses?" Of course she wants those glasses. And she's going to tell you why she wants those glasses. And then you're going to go to the next shelf and you're going, "Ma, do you want these pasta plates?" And she's going to say yes, right? What we want to do instead of that, because first we need to acknowledge that they want everything, otherwise it wouldn't be in the house.
Right.
Right?
Good
and
point.
yeah, like they want it.
Yeah.
And so what I try to do, and I try to recommend people do, is that instead of going cabinet by cabinet, you go use by use, right? So I brought an example here of ceramic mugs. Now, not travel mugs, because travel mugs you want to do with water bottles and things you take out, right? You want to go by use. So I'll go through the whole kitchen and I'll pull all the ceramic mugs together. And then if the client is there or the family is there, I either show them or send them a picture and I say, which one of these mugs would you like to take? Because if I go through each one of these mugs and I say, would you like this Chicago's Champion Ponderosa?
That's an awesome mug.
Right, it's an awesome mug. You're going to say, yes, I want it. And if I say, do you want this Killer Clowns from Outer Space mug? It's Halloween. Of course I want this mug right now, right? And so instead, you put all of the mugs together and you say, which one of these are we taking? Because then you're also bridging the future, because sometimes that gets lost because it's a grieving process, right? It's the family home, and grief is an emotion that you cannot fight. Like, you cannot fight it, and clients all, if it's a large family, everybody has to meet each other where they're at, right? And so acknowledging that maybe your parent doesn't want to move, instead of saying you have to, right? Because I have to wear reading glasses and I miss my old eyes every day. I don't like wearing reading glasses. It's not okay to then say, well, you have to wear your reading glasses, Mom, right? It makes the situation a little bit more painful for our older adults that are kind of going through a sensitive time, you know. So this I find you can use with luggage, you know. Usually luggage is in every closet, every single closet, and you go through, and instead of going closet by closet, you take out all the luggage, you put it all together and say, which carry-on would you like to take with you?
Got it. Yeah, I like the way that you frame that. I really do. I really do. Now, when it comes to strategies that we can put in place, let's say, you know, my parents are you know, mid-70s. Sorry, guys. I'm going to just kind of call it out.
Yeah.
You know, they're not at the point yet where they need other people to make decisions for them. But is there anything that we can do in our generation, kind of the younger, you know, we're in midlife here, we got kids of our own, can do preemptively to help this process?
This is an excellent question. The same process, right? Mugs are a really good example of something that, and just ceramic mugs, not the fine china. That's a whole thing. What ceramic mugs, usually there's one section where those are your everyday mugs. Then there's the JV section, the 6 men off the bench, where one mug goes down, you got to pull them out. And then maybe above the fridge, there's a collection of mugs that we've got the kids' art ones that we don't want to put in the microwave, right? Have your parents go through one of these things at a time, and maybe those childhood mugs can start getting dispensed now to other family members, right?
My question is, how many can they keep? So you mentioned pick one.
Yes.
Like, how do we know how many we should be keeping and getting rid of?
Yeah, so that's one of the most important parts of my job, is to understand where the client is then transitioning to, right? So say they're going to a condo, right? They're downsizing. Say your parents are like, you know what, we're going to live in the city. We're going to move to the city. We're going to move to a two-bedroom
you're going to have
condo.
to get rid of a lot of three-dimensional objects.
And so, but instead of talking about the emotions of it, we're going to talk about the facts of it, where we know how many kitchen cabinets are there.
Right.
And I'm saying, I think you can take about 4. You know, or I think we can take 6. And then also you want to emphasize the fact that lighter things are better, because as we age, you want to maintain keeping, like a lighter mug is going to be a better mug for a person who's aging.
Jane, when a family hires you, how important is it when they hire someone like you to be the neutral, outside?
Yes.
I'm saying, so, you know, if I'm arguing with my siblings or my parents, I can say Jane said 4.
Yes.
Jane said 4. Like,
exactly.
is that like so
no,
much
it's
of the
a
gig?
huge thing, because it's also, if I'm in the kitchen helping your parents and you're here on TV, right? I am a neutral party to also the stories. So you have probably heard the acquisition of the Ponderosa mug story multiple times. I have never heard that, right? And so it's a much easier process too, because I'm not going, Ma, come on, you got to get rid of that, right? And it also takes the pressure, because part of the biggest issue that is happening is that we are dealing with, to call ourselves out, middle age, right? We have kids in school, we have jobs, we have all these responsibilities. And it's a time where all this grief happens, but you now have the biggest to-do list of all time. You're physically tired because it's exhausting to move stuff.
And just going through, I mean, some of these aging couples have 3-story suburban homes that have been collecting stuff for 40 years.
Totally.
For 40 years. I mean, this and that could become a part-time job on its own. How long is the typical like declutter for you? Are you on site in some cases for weeks or months?
Yeah, so I did a home recently where they had lived in it for 40 years, and that was about 2 weeks.
Okay.
It depends.
That's not bad.
No, and it depends on the client, you know, how the family, what the family wants, because going to siblings is that sometimes when I'm managing the downsizing of a family home, I will take a picture of the mugs and I will send it to the siblings, the ones that the parents don't want, and then everybody can chime in and say if they want something or not.
Right.
But you keep the siblings away, because everybody reverts into a 12-year-old version of themselves. So what happens is, if your brother says he wants the Ponderosa mug and you see that, you might go, no, that's my Ponderosa mug. Right. So I also am able to create kind of a buffer in between the parents. But the bigger the home and the more the stuff, the more we have to let go, and the pace is really determined by the client and the family.
What do you say to those people who have storage units and they say, I'm just going to put all this into storage? I'm sure that's what you hear all the time.
All the time. If that's what you want to do, I support it, right? A lot of times, if you can't get a parent to let go or a loved one to let go, sometimes that's a little bit of a good bridge, but it is an extra expense, and in these economic times, it's maybe an expense and a future job that younger generations don't want to take.
Right.
Any other creative, we're running out of time here, Jane, but any other creative outlets for where things can go? I know a lot of things end up in the dumpster. Some things probably end up at like a Goodwill or an estate sale. Are there any things that we who haven't gone through this might need to keep in mind about where certain objects could end up? Because I know, for example, my wife is always talking about, like, it's so wasteful to just throw perfectly good things away, but then again, it's such a hassle to gather it all up and bring it to like a Goodwill.
Right.
So how do we navigate that? Is there anything creative we can do or keep in mind?
So there's a lot of discussion over Goodwills and other large chain donation areas. And I always try to remind people that those are places where, especially when the economy is not doing as well, people actually do purchase most of their home goods for it. And to kind of feel like that is putting it back in. So there's the trash side of it, but then typically I'm just filling up my van and going to a thrift store or a donation center or calling a church to have them pick it up, and then they can repurpose it. And I find that that's the best way.
Jane, if folks are in need right now, they hear this and they're like, oh my gosh, this is like a ticking time bomb for my family. How do they reach out to you? And
JaneCarr.com, and it's JaneKarr, K like kangaroo or kite. And just reach out to me, and sometimes I just do consultations on the phone as well.
Oh, that's super helpful.
Such a
Oh man.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thanks for coming in. Really appreciate it. I'm taking the Ponderosa.
I mean, it's a pretty good mug, right?
That thing is so old. This brings me right back.
Right.
Look at this. This is a commemorative edition of the Chicago Bears. How great.
I love it.
Is that? Yeah, it reminds me of the 85 Bears.
I feel like the clothes would be the hardest one, right?
Yeah.
Well, it depends. Everybody's different, right?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's the clothes, sometimes it's the Lego sets.
Oh, the Lego sets.
The old VHSs that you have on the shelf.
Those have to be digitized. Oh my gosh.
Right.
Jane, we can talk to you for an entire
Thank you
hour.
so much for having me, guys.
Thank you so
I really
much. All right, we are
appreciate
coming up on 11 a.m. Tia and Gabby waiting in the wings here. We got another exciting hour of Friday. Chicago Now. It's Friday, everybody. Have a great rest of your morning. And Tia and Gabby will be right back up.
This
Welcome back to this Chicago edition of, I should say Friday edition of Chicago Now. It's Friday, it's 11 o'clock. We are so happy to be here. We have a lot coming up on the show, including this lovely lady to my left who we're going to be talking to. But let me kind of tee up what we have going on. AI is changing the way we are applying for jobs, so we're going to talk to somebody about that. And the mad man of mind magic, Israel Mandrake, is performing for us in studio. But first, I got to talk to you, Chaz Ebert, who is with us. Thank you so much for being with us. That Ebert last name may ring a bell to you because you are the CEO of RogerEbert.com, and you're announcing the nominations are officially open for the inaugural FEC Awards. Yes, don't get it twisted with the wrong word, right? Celebrating individuals and organizations who elevate humanity through forgiveness, empathy, compassion, and kindness. And I love that. This is perfect timing. The book came out already, but now you're doing the awards. Let's start from the beginning, right? Because I did some research on you. You're a Chicago girl like myself. I went to Crane High School, ended up going to DePaul University to get your law degree, ended up marrying Roger Ebert. who is your late husband, and I'm sorry about that. I'm sure that was a journey in its own right. How did you find yourself in the book space? You really come from a very, I would say, diverse background.
Well, I was an attorney for years. I practiced law. I also was a writer my entire life. I've always written, but not for publication, just for myself. And I've written some plays and I've written some other things, but this came directly from Roger talking about movies being a machine that generates empathy, that lets you see the lives of someone different than you, someone of a different race, age, gender, socioeconomic status, and gaining an understanding of them so that maybe you can help bring people together.
I love that because obviously you're an African-American woman. Yes. Roger Ebert was considered to be a white man. You were an interracial relationship. Tell me, what was it like, you know, that love story? How did that even come to be?
Well, you know, today I'm not going to talk about the love story so much because we were just kind of soulmates, and we were together for 24 years, and we
inspired you.
We inspired each other.
Mm-hmm.
We both were very empathetic. And after he passed away 12 years ago now. After he passed away, I started thinking, how can we live these principles? And that's when the idea for writing a book came about. But this wasn't the book I wanted to write. During the pandemic, though, I started to see that how people were feeling isolated and divided. Like we
even
are
now
today.
Even now, yes.
And so I started looking for examples of where people forgave each other, how people became more compassionate and kind. Actually, I was prospecting for gold. There were some wealth announcers on earlier. Yeah. This is a gold discovery. I'm looking for the gold in people, the good in people. And there are so many examples out there every day where we see, you know, like at remember the tragic incident at Mother Emanuel Church in South Carolina, where those parishioners were shot and killed, and the relatives of some of them went to the person
that was the shooter
and said, I forgive you. I forgive. How can you do that?
Yeah.
Where does that come from? I started thinking, what is the good? How is that even possible?
To forgive like that, yeah.
To forgive like that. And there are so many examples of people being compassionate and doing things. Right now, federal workers are being left off. I had phone calls from people, I want to help feed people. In Chicago, you know, we know that there are people on the street who can't eat. How do you go about giving food to the food depository to make sure people eat? These are all the things, and people wake up in the morning and say, how can I make the world a better place? Those are the people I'm looking for, and I want to give them an award in Chicago next April 4th, 2026.
Okay, so somebody may be watching right now. I can think of a host of people that we've highlighted, and even some people in my personal life that I think would be definite great recipients for these awards. Someone may be watching right now and say, hey, I have someone that I would like to submit. What is that process? Is there an essay that they have to submit? How does it work?
Yes, they go to giveafec.com, giveafeck.com, and there's a nomination form. It asks the person, and it also allows you to even make a little video about the person to nominate them. So there's a nomination form at giveafec.com. That's the process.
Why do you think it's important to nominate? You know, some of these people that we're talking about are often unsung heroes in our community, right? They're doing this. They're not necessarily doing it for an award or applause. You know, there are people out there probably feeding the homeless down in Wacker right now. Lower Wacker right now. They're not looking for the round of applause, but this is a way to say, really, we see you, we congratulate you, we thank you for your empathy.
And you know what? It actually just raises the whole temperature. Rather than always seeing something negative, when we see people doing that, it inspires us. Goodness is contagious. Kindness is contagious. Compassion is contagious. Empathy is contagious. And when we see people doing it, we want to do it too.
Let me ask you, do you have a story that you can think of right now? You've been, you know, at this hard work for a very long time, that maybe you've encountered somebody that fits your awards, or maybe you yourself, you have a story of something that maybe even you've done that kind of fits the award. If you can kind of walk me through maybe someone that inspired you along the way.
All right, I'm going to tell you a person I'm thinking of from Chicago who made us change the rules. At first the rules were you had to be someone 18 to be nominated. No, there is a little girl on the south side of Chicago who wanted a PlayStation. She couldn't afford it. Her mother said, we can't afford it. She put up a lemonade stand with her grandfather.
Yes.
She made enough money to buy a PlayStation. She made enough money to buy 2, and she said, I used to be in the hospital, and when I was in the hospital, the kids there didn't have a PlayStation. She made enough money and went to Children's Hospital and donated that. That little girl can be nominated for a FEC award.
So initially, so let me get this straight. So initially the awards, you had to be 18 or older.
Yes.
And then you heard this story and it inspired you so much that you lowered the age to kind of be for anybody
For
at this point.
anybody who gives a FEC. Yes.
And that's really hard to say, give a FEC. But I love it. That's contagious. That's very catchy. Give a FEC. Okay, so these awards will happen in April.
Yes.
What are the categories? Are there different categories?
4 categories. Forgiveness, empathy, compassion, and kindness. Or some people there may be one general FEC award for, somebody who crosses all the boundaries.
Okay, so this is not happening right away, but they probably should start getting those submissions in right away.
Yes, because the nominations opened October 15th, just this week, Wednesday, which was my birthday.
Happy
October
belated.
15th, thank you. I decided, you know what, I'm going to just make one personal thing. Every year, since I was like in 3rd grade, I wanted something. What is it that I want to do? This is something that I want to do. This is something I'm passionate about. So I decided to open the nominations on my birthday. And April 4th, the day of the ceremony, is the day Roger passed away.
Okay.
And it's his talk about empathy so much that I said, if we have an award like this, that's the day I want it. So April 4th, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
And so, no, it's okay. It's okay to be emotional, and that's part of the empathy, right? In the book, we can't ignore that. Okay, so this is happening in April.
Yes.
You wanted it to be in Chicago.
Yes.
Is there a reason why you decided? I mean, you could have had this any place. I know you're from Chicago. I know Roger lived, grew up in Illinois as well. But you could have had this any place. What made you say Chicago is the home for these awards?
Because I think Chicago is where I learned so much about empathy and compassion. Chicago, I came from a family of 9, 4 brothers and 4 sisters, and my mom was the nicest, kindest, most compassionate person I've ever met. And my dad took care of the family, so loving, so kind. That's where it was modeled for me. Here, right here in Chicago, the schools I went to on the west side of Chicago, my teachers were so kind. I'm thinking the kindness that I learned here is something that I want to just, why not Chicago? Chicago's a great city.
It's a beautiful city. Born and raised here too, so I understand what you're saying. What do you think? I find it very interesting. I know you didn't plan it this way, but the timing. I mean, there's, I wake up sometimes in the morning and I'm in the news business, but I don't want to turn on the TV. I want to break from this stuff.
I know. And the FEC Awards will give you. One of the reasons that we're having the nominations open October 15th, they close December 1st. We wanted to give enough time to get stories so that even if someone doesn't end up on stage April 4th next year, we're going to be spotlighting some of the stories from the nominations all along. Because like I said, we are prospecting for gold. And I want to be able to open my eyes in the morning and read something or see something about somebody doing good, not just someone who's being cruel and firing people and all of that.
Yeah, I think the timing is perfect for this because I think we all can use an upliftment. Let's talk about the book. Maybe somebody's watching right now, they're going to nominate somebody, but they've never read the book before. Walk me through the book and really what the book is all about. What is, like, for example, a chapter in the book that people can really get behind?
Okay, one of the chapters in the book is about the forgiveness. And besides the story of, I think maybe I wrote the book before the Mother Emanuel story, but one of the stories in the book talks about, you know what, I don't want to even.
You don't want to talk about it?
No, because that's going to make me cry again.
It's okay, it's okay.
I'm going to tell you, not everything in this book makes you cry. There are a lot of joyous stories in there.
It's okay. I've been told sometimes I can make people cry. So it may be me that's making you feel this way. But it sounds like to me that what you really want to put in the world is positivity.
Yes.
And we need a lot more of it. And unfortunately right now, maybe we don't feel that every day, but this is a way for people to take a beat, think about some positive people in your life, promote those people and keep that going because you don't want this to just be one time. You want to keep these awards going.
I have a story
Go
that
ahead.
I want to tell you.
Will's
I'm just
returning
gonna go.
over there, huh?
So the other night was the opening of the Chicago Film Festival.
Yes.
And the first night, it was One Golden Summer, about our Jackie Robinson West Little League players who won the World Series and then had that title skip.
Situation.
Anyway, that night we said some of the people that I went to high school with had relatives who were part of that team. And I said, why don't we, these are women that I've known for 50 years. 50 years.
Yeah.
We got a party bus and we said, let's go over and have a good time. So sometimes giving effect is not just about feeding someone or doing something. Sometimes it's about the joy and the kindness that you, and the joy that you can spread. That day, when we went, that night we went, and we actually ended up running to other people, and some things are going to happen because of that joyous group that I was with from Crane. There are some initiatives that we're going to start with helping people. So
had you not gotten together, had you not, done the positive thing,
yes,
to meet up with others, all of this may not have transpired.
That's right.
Let me ask you this. During some of your hardest times in life, we all do something. Like some people, they like to, just sit on the floor and just, go into a Zen moment. What do you do in some of your hardest times to stay empathetic and positive and keep that forgiveness going?
Okay, I have a mantra. I am a child of God. God loves me. And God allows me to love others. That's what I say.
Yeah.
And it helps me. It really does. The other thing is I am very fortunate that I have a family to fall back on, because my family, there have been times when I've been really down and out. Down and out.
On the floor, yeah.
Yeah. And I had, sisters who come, brothers, nieces and nephews who come and lift me up. And that's, and one of the things that I love, music. And they know if I'm really down, they'll sing me some gospel songs or just sing me songs, just things that are just, there are so many ways to, little things to uplift. Even in the morning, if I'm going out, if I look at something and it really seems negative, when I go out, that's the day that I make sure that I say hello to someone, or, just reach out instead of retreating into a shell. That's almost the worst thing that we can do, retreat into a shell, because people want to connect. People want to be seen. People want to be heard. So
I love that. Okay, one last time. Someone's watching. They figured out who they're going to nominate now after listening to us. What's the website they can go to?
GiveAFEC.com.
All right, and that's FECK. You know what? It has been a pleasure speaking with you. I'm so happy that you decided to come here on this Friday and give us some positivity. We needed it.
Thank you. You know what? I hear it in your voice, and I love it. I can hear it.
Yeah,
I can hear it. And I hear it from your voice to my heart. I hear it. Thank you.
I'm happy that you came. All right, make sure you go nominate somebody. I'm going to nominate somebody as soon as I get off the show, but we're not done. We have a whole lot more of Chicago Now. Stay with us right after this break. Welcome back to Chicago Now. So right now we are talking all things AI, and eventually maybe I won't be sitting here. It may actually be a robot. A new study from AI platform CopyLeaks found that 90% of students actually use AI for schoolwork, and nearly 1 in 3 rely on it daily. AI is no longer a novelty. It's part of how people learn, write, and communicate. And joining us now to talk more about this is Elan Yamin with CopyLeaks. Thank you so much for your time today. I think you may be muted, Elan. Can you try again? Make sure you're not muted for us. Sometimes it happens on live TV. We're trying to make sure we get you. It may be on our end, but when it comes to AI, I do want to read this as we try to figure this out. This generation transitions into the workforce. The same tools shaping essays and assignments are now shaping resumes and also job applications, raising new questions about authenticity, fairness, and what original work means in both education and employment. Elan, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can
Perfect.
You hear me?
Yes, I'm so happy that this worked out. Let's talk about this in the world of now students using this. How are colleges and universities adapting? Because, you know, when I was growing up, if you copied something from a book, they'd be trying to boot you out of the university. How is this working now?
Yeah, you know, it's a whole new world out there, and it's very interesting to see how things have changed even since ChatGPT came out, right? In end of 2022, ChatGPT came out, and we saw that a lot of academic institutions created new policies around it. Some of them even banned the use of AI completely. Kind of like fast forward to where we are today, we're seeing that it's not very realistic. AI is all around us, and students are using AI very often. So we've seen in our survey that around 90% of students are using AI. And the most important things for academic institutions these days is not to make sure that students are not using AI, but to make sure that they're using it in a productive way. So as a learning tool versus a cheating tool. And I think this is kind of like where the academic institutions are today. They understand that they need to work with AI. They understand that they need to use it as a learning tool and that it's an amazing, you know, platform for research, for learning, but how are we doing it in a safe way?
Let me ask you this question, Elan, because like, for example, in my field, right, you're gauged oftentimes on performance, how you write, if you could actually write. I would imagine, you know, moving forward, people will be able to use AI to craft what they're writing, what they're saying. Have you seen any data that proves that that is actually a good thing for people to rely on AI to kind of help them in school, on the job, etc.?
Yes, so what we're seeing and we're hearing from a lot of teachers, a lot of professors is the worry of, you know, how will we make sure that students are actually able to write assignments, do work themselves. You know, there are now students, but they're going to the workplaces after that. How are we making sure that we're creating here an environment that develops actual learning capabilities? So what we're seeing is that academic institutions are now in this stage where they are teaching how to use AI and how to use it in a safe way as a learning enhancing tool and not as a tool to replace completely the work from the student side. So I think what's really important is having transparency and visibility around AI. So both for academic institutions as well as, you know, employers, we want to understand what work the students or our employees are actually doing and what work is created by AI. And this transparency, this visibility, the ability to detect what's AI and what's not, what's real and what's not, is something that is very important.
Let me ask you this, in your opinion, Elan, what is the best way if a student does decide, you know what, I don't really understand this homework maybe that I was sent home with or this paper. What's the best way for them to use AI and not cheat, but at the same time still learn?
I will say, first and foremost, don't copy paste things directly from generative AI platform. You can ask questions like, help me with understanding XYZ. This is a subject that I have difficulties with. Maybe you can even share your first draft and ask for recommendations or feedback of things that you can do better. But definitely don't trust AI completely and take content directly from these platforms. What we've discovered is that around 40% of content that is created by AI platforms contains very high levels of copyrighted materials. So a lot of the times, if you're using content directly from these platforms, you're infringing on other people's works. It's not necessarily original content. So it's something that is very important to be aware of. So use AI as, again, a tool to help you in the process, and then make sure and authenticate yourself if you're using these tools that you've changed enough that now the content is more human and edited by you. And this is where really AI detectors can help. So AI detectors like Copyleaks are basically assessing what parts of the text are created by AI and what parts of the text are created by humans. This gives you this transparency, this visibility around where AI exists, and allow you to work with it in a safe way, with the goal of, we all understand that AI is here to stay. So the goal is really to allow you to work with it in a safe way.
Can you talk about these AI detection tools, how they actually work? What's the process? Like, do you put in like an essay into this software and it says, yes, this was created with ChatGPT, for example?
So it's exactly like that. So you can go to copyleaks.com, submit your text, your assignment, your work, or even, I don't know, you're reading a review of a product on Amazon you're thinking of buying. You want to make sure if it's a real review, or you're reading a piece of article on the news, you want to make sure it was created by a real human journalist. You can submit this to the platform, and immediately you will receive sentence by sentence an analysis of what's created by AI and what's created by humans. And the way we're able to do it is we have technology, we have our own AI models that are able to identify unique voice. And what we've discovered is that AI platforms, ChatGPT, Gemini, and other large language models out there are writing in a very specific way. So it's almost like us, as humans, each one of us as an individual write in a specific way. These LLMs are doing exactly the same, and that's what allows us to identify it in such high level of accuracy.
In terms of ChatGPT, I know some people use it and they say after a while, it seems like the software understands them, that AI understands who they are. They kind of have their voice, they get their voice, they understand, what they do for a living, etc. When it comes to this, is there any way that AI can kind of like take on, I guess, your personality or things that you would say and write them in a way where it would not be detected by this software?
It's an interesting question. AI becomes more and more sophisticated, and of course this is all data-based. So as AI has more data about you as an individual, it becomes more sophisticated in the way that it maybe can imitate you or create things that look more human. Having said that, our models are also AI models. So it's kind of like you can look at it as AI fighting AI. And we're able to identify even very sophisticated cases of AI. Let's say the AI, you're directing AI to mask its existence and write exactly in your own voice based on, past assignments, etc. We will be able to identify it, because still AI writes in a way that is very specific for you or for me as humans. It's completely invisible. We're not able to detect it, but for our own AI models, for our AI detectors, this is something that is very, very clear. So actually, interestingly enough, we wanted to start exposing those factors that tell our AI models that something here sounds like AI, something sounds a little different. So we created a new solution called AI Logic, which does exactly that. It exposes some factors that we've identified that tells our models, our AI systems, that something here sounds like AI. So one of that is, for example, specific words or phrases that are much more commonly used in AI systems versus us humans. So you have specific phrases or words that are maybe thousands of times more often appears in AI platforms. You have a specific use of punctuation, for example, or how often you use punctuations. That's also could be a signal. Another signal could be the average length of a sentence. So all of these things that are almost, we're as people, we're not looking at it as a sign for AI. Our models are able to analyze and still detect in a very accurate way if content is created by AI or created by a human.
That's a good point, because I know someone who makes a lot of posts on social media, and I notice they always have these dashes, hyphens, and I'm like, that is definitely AI. Like, nobody would in writing, right, even on a typewriter or, you know, a keyboard, a computer, whatever, even in text, would use hyphens in that way. Are there keywords that you repeatedly see when it comes to AI that maybe you could tell our audience about, that, hey, this is usually an indicator that this person has used AI to generate said content?
So there are so many of these type of words, and it really depends on the subject. In the end, AI writes about almost everything. A lot of the times it would be, you know, phrases of words that are referencing things from the past, so like as seen and in, etc., 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 or these type of statements. What's important to look there, I would highly recommend to make sure that this reference actually exists. We've seen a lot of cases in the past where AI references cases, articles, research that never happened, does not exist. That's why it's very important not to trust AI as is, and make sure that you're adding the, you know, human factors, authenticating content that is coming out of AI, and again, adding the human touch, that it's unreplaceable.
That's a good point, because in some cases, AI uses language that no human would actually say in reality. So yeah, that is a good point. Let me ask you a follow-up to something that you said. You mentioned, you know, copy leaks kind of has to evolve as AI evolves. What else are you doing there to kind of stay on top of these trends? Because one thing I noticed that you said is AI is getting smarter, or it has the ability to get smarter. So that means that copy leaks then would have to get even more smart, right? Because you have to follow up and make sure that you can detect what is AI and what is not.
It's exactly that. So AI keeps changing, and we have to change together with it. So first and foremost, you see more and more AI models coming to the market. So we're adding more and more capabilities to identify them, and not only the new ones, but also existing LLMs that are creating new models. So GPT is already, you know, we have quite a few versions from the first day. So we're making sure that we're covering the new versions of existing LLMs to give the best coverage, the best detection to our customers. Another very important thing that we're doing is really sharing more and more data points around the logic of our AI platform. As I mentioned before, we want to create as much transparency around AI detection as possible. We really believe, and it's our mission as a company, to create transparent environment so that anyone can understand if this is a piece of content that they're able to trust and have confidence in. You know, we all on social media, we all are reading the news. We want to understand what we can trust and what we cannot. So we believe that really exposing more and more around how our own AI is working and how our own AI detection works, and what are the things that you can use as signs, like I mentioned before, as AI versus humans. Those are more and more things that we're adding. And the biggest thing we're probably working on now, and we're going to launch it in the next few days actually, is our AI image detection. So we started from text and code, and we're now also expanding to images. Obviously, we're all exposed to images online all the time, and it's becoming harder and harder to identify, again, what's real and what's not, what's an image that is actually a real image, and what's an image that is created or even edited by AI. So maybe it started as a real image and someone added or deducted parts of the image. So we're releasing a completely new solution that will be able to identify that. So that's coming in the next few days. So I'm personally very excited about that, and I think from usage perspective, the ability to identify AI in whatever form, text, images, and of course there are other content types out there, will become more and more important as AI will become more commonly used, and it's already, you know, being used very, very commonly around us.
Here's a quick final question for you. In terms of people, you know, there are a lot of people out there that use one, I guess, AI, app repeatedly, right? A lot of people use the same one. When I talk to people, they're using the same one. They say, let me ask, and then they mention said AI tool. Is there danger in using one tool? Because it seems like overall when I talk to people, a lot of them are using this particular tool. I'm not naming it, but is there a danger in using one tool for AI specifically? And the reason why I ask this question is because my thought is, if millions of people are feeding this one particular AI tool, it gets even smarter and smarter, and I feel almost dangerous, but I want to get your opinion on that.
Yes, it's an interesting point. I think the one thing I would recommend is really to think about what it is that you're sharing with these platforms. Doesn't matter what tool you're using. In the end, your data stays with them, and they can do a lot with your data. So there are a lot of privacy, security, dangers that you can think about in relations to these AI platforms. So I would highly recommend really thinking what information you would share publicly, because that's exactly the type of information that you should be willing to share with these platforms. Otherwise, I wouldn't share this information with these platforms. Doesn't matter what it is that you're using. Of course, we have some platforms that are more commonly used than others, but I think the danger or the risks of privacy and security is with all of them. So that's something that is very important to be aware of.
All right, very good. Alon Yamin with Copy Leaks. It has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for taking time out and coming on Chicago Now this morning. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we are coming back and we're going to talk about the gender pay gap. It is growing. This is not the news that I definitely wanted to hear as I sit in this seat, but we're going to talk about it. We'll have it right after this break.
Fox Local.
Welcome back to Chicago Now on this Friday, 11:37 on the Friday morning. Okay, we got to talk about this. Buckle up. This is an interesting topic. New census data shows that the gender pay gap is widening, backtracking on more recent gains made for working women. And why is that? That is the big question, in part because of RTO and lessening flexibility. Joining us to talk about it is Shelly McConnell, who is with us right now. Shelly, can you hear me?
I sure can. Thank you.
I'm so thankful that you are here with us. Let's walk through this recent data, because I think a lot of people, even myself, when I saw this, I was kind of taken aback. I thought it's the year 2025. We're progressing forward. We're doing better. And then I see this and it's not so much. What's happening here?
It's disappointing.
It is.
I agree. This is the first time in recent history that we've had a 2-year repeated decline, or really increase in the gap. And that is considered to be meaningful and is a backslide from where we had been going. Also considering that there still exists a significant gap, and now it's worsening. One thing we're seeing is that it's not worsening equally for everyone. Women of color seem to be bearing more of the burden, women over 40. And we also know that women in leadership roles, often in very senior leadership roles in companies, have a pretty significant pay gap as well. In the end, entering into retirement, women still have about 3/4 of the accumulated wealth compared to men.
What do you think is happening? What is driving these numbers in the wrong direction this time around?
Well, there are many factors. A few include there's some data that indicates that male-dominated fields recovered more quickly after COVID-19, and as a result, pay, access to work, et cetera. Industries such as construction, manufacturing. We see very directly that the median income for men is growing faster than the median income for women, period. We also know that women continue to be most likely a default parent, paying a motherhood penalty at work, and bearing more of the burden in caregiving, whether that's children or people in a sandwich generation who are also caring for a parent. The reduction in flexibility and access to resources post-pandemic, it's falling disproportionately on women. We've heard over time that more than 60% of working caregivers have adjusted their work schedules, have left the workforce, have passed up on promotions, and et cetera, because of that caregiving role that they play.
You know, Shelley, I want to mention the fact that you are the Chief Strategy Officer of WIN. What do you say the strategy is here? If you're a woman, for example, in our work environment, people often don't talk about, you know, how much they make, right? They don't talk about how much their contract is worth. What do you suggest a woman to do if they do think that they are not being paid the same equally in a workplace environment? Maybe you work for an engineering company, for example. You have the same job as John over here. You're doing the same exact work, same credentials, but you know for a fact you're probably not making the same amount. What would you say the strategy should be there for women in the workplace that maybe want to push for more pay?
I would suggest a few things. The first is to really do your research, know the data, understand the value of your role and your contributions within that role. And what may seem like a small pay concession today does have compounded impact over time. So don't let your current pay level dictate your next pay level, or we perpetuate the same problems. Also, many of us are uncomfortable with these conversations. So I would encourage all of us to get comfortable with the discomfort. Evaluate what it is about this that makes you uncomfortable, why, and how you personally can power through it. That can certainly impact pay negotiations, but on a more day-to-day basis, we need to be comfortable with self-promotion, self-advocacy, networking, and embracing change, which can all have an impact on pay. And then I would finally, my third piece of advice would be to ask everyone to look for opportunities to mentor and advocate for others. Whether you can influence policy and practice in your organization, or whether you can guide and support others on their journey, we can all make a difference on this.
You know,
I'm not speaking as an employee, not as an employer. There are some other things employers can do.
I was going to ask you about the employer side because I think about, you know, maybe some employers do want to do the right thing. You know, maybe some others may think, you know, for the bottom line, it's better that people don't know, you know, how much one another makes, right? But for a company that wants to support working women, understanding what's going on right now, talking about this pay gap, what do you think those companies can do to support women more in the workplace?
To directly what you just mentioned, which is looking even for unconscious bias in pay levels and ensuring that the performance review construct ensures measuring actual achieved outcomes and not necessarily perceptions. but actual outcomes, and making sure that that is incorporated into performance reviews and also overall reviews of pay equity. I'd also suggest that companies and employers evaluate the business impact of the talent that you are not attracting and are not retaining, and consider the extent to which hiring and retention data points to deficiency in your pay policies, flexibility, particularly in light of return to office mandates, leaves and benefits. And third thing is look at strengthening caregiver and flexible work support. Policies like parental leave, regardless of gender, return to work policies and resources, subsidized childcare, backup childcare, and offering caregiver-focused resources and expert support to help keep people at the office. So there are multiple aspects of this. One is the direct pay that people are receiving, which is an issue, and the other is keeping your talented women in the workforce by having accommodations and benefits that help support them to do so.
Shelley, I want to ask you this before we let you go. Years ago, I worked alongside another news anchor. She had been doing a very long time, but we were in the same role. And she came to me, I was very young at the time, and she came to me and said, listen, I know you're going to have to negotiate your contract. This is how much I make. It was the most amazing thing I think anybody has ever done for me in the workplace, where they were forthcoming, right, about their salary. Yes. I learned that. I was upset, but I handled it like a true professional. Anyone that's watching right now, maybe they learned that. Maybe they find out that, you know, their counterpart is making this, they're not. What do you say they do with that information? How do they strategically go about pushing for more money without getting a pink slip?
Right. I would, first of all, I want to credit the person who did that for you.
Yes, Stephanie,
who really
thank you.
Took I'm sorry, what was her name?
Her name was Stephanie, and she's in Sacramento, California to this day.
Like being a mentor, being an advocate. It's so important to help each other. And that radical transparency, sharing what traditionally is not shared, has an enormous impact. I would suggest you go back, you gather as much data as you can publicly. There's much more information available publicly than maybe even when Stephanie was sharing that with you at that time. And put your case together, know what your value is and what you are contributing, and go in for a collaborative conversation about it with your data in hand. And also, like I mentioned, be okay with this being uncomfortable for you, let alone for someone else, and practice ahead of time. If you have a mentor, talk with them. Talk with Stephanie about the approach that she might take and the approach you're thinking about taking, and get their advice. We can all benefit from this, and relying on others and their expertise can help.
Very good information. You have been a wealth of knowledge this morning. We really appreciate your expertise, and hopefully we can have you back on the show when it's a positive trend that we're seeing here. We can talk about the positive side of things as well. Have a good weekend.
Wonderful. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So coming up, we are going to delve into the madman of mind magic. I don't know if I'm looking forward to this. This might get a little crazy, but I'm looking forward to having some fun on this Friday, right? Stay with us. We'll have that right after this break.
Gannon.
All right, so he is, I don't know why you staring me down. Don't be trying to read my mind. Okay, he is known as the madman of mind magic. This is Israel Mandrake. You have been in Vegas, right? You've been on the road doing 200 plus shows each year. You've had relationships, let's clear that up, with organizations like the NFL, Netflix, even NASA. Areas of psychological performance and behavioral analysis is what you've done. How did you get into this? This sounds very intuitive. How did you get into this?
For the last 25 years, I've been obsessed with the limitless powers of the human mind, and I just got absolutely obsessed with a guy when I was a kid named the Amazing Kreskin. And I started to pursue the idea of mixing magic, hypnosis, and mentalism, and a lot of sarcasm and fun.
Okay, what were you doing before that? What were you doing in your life before you delved into this world?
Mixed martial arts.
Really?
Yeah. I had, for a long time, I trained martial arts, and that's actually in portion of the show. There's a portion of the show where I actually do a blindfolded gun disarm. So I actually take...
What?
Yeah, so, and the whole show's mind over matter. We've done everything from 25-foot glass walk, all the way to 25-foot glass walk, all the way to, well, I'm gonna show you.
Okay, so let's start. What are you gonna show me today?
So, what I'd like you to do, I want you to think of a cartoon.
Okay.
And I want you to take that cartoon and I want you to see in a gold frame right here.
It's in a gold frame, okay.
Now, in the show, a lot of what goes on is not only mind reading, but things that have a little essence to it of connection.
Okay.
Are you familiar with energy at all?
Yes.
Okay, what I want
you hugged me, so I felt like you were trying to test my energy.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Warm it on up.
So you are familiar with energy, yeah?
Yes.
All right, I want you to go here. Now feel this right here. Now as you feel this, check this out. Right as you feel that there you go.
Oh my God, I feel something for real.
Now feel it connect, and now feel it come back farther and farther.
What is going on here?
Exactly. Now as you feel that, I'm gonna let go of one hand. Put this hand down here and keep thinking of, ooh, I can feel that.
That's kind of creepy.
Yeah, that sense. Now what I'm gonna have you do is close your eyes. And as I touch your hand here, I want you to think of one of the fingers on your hand.
Okay.
And as you feel your eyes flicker, you go into a subconscious state, also known as hypnosis, but it's a light state.
Okay.
Kind of like when we're driving our car. I want you to see that cartoon in your mind right now. And I want you to see that bright and vividly, and you're thinking of one person now that the world knows very well, yes? And there's another one too, there's a male.
Okay, yes, yes.
One of those people that you're thinking of right now, that person is a famous person, but that person also was affiliated with the presidency somehow.
Correct. Oh my God.
Also, there's been rumors of CIA involvement in one of the people that you're thinking of now.
Very true.
And they're also thinking about somebody where there are initials involved. And you have them in a place inside your mind right now where they're either eating or they're doing something, and I want to say that it's in a foreign country of sorts. Is that true?
That's true.
Now, as you're thinking that, open your eyes, close them down one more time, and start to say the names inside your mind right now.
Okay.
And the first name that comes to mind, which is really, really wild, at first I thought it was Betty Page, but one of the people you're thinking of is Marilyn Monroe. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And now...
You're freaking me out.
I'm freaking myself out. The thing that you have in your mind right now, they are either eating, and I want to say it's going to sound funny. Are you thinking spaghetti or something like that, or something to where?
Yes.
Either spaghetti, something like that, and also you are, it's going to sound crazy, but you're either thinking, it's something from AGT, so it's Simon, isn't it? Simon?
Correct.
And Simon, Marilyn Monroe, and you're thinking about them on a vacation together.
Okay.
And you're thinking of it in... Think of the language that you hear them speaking. Italian.
Yes! Oh my God! Okay.
Is that right?
Yes!
Speaking Italian? And in this, not only are they seeing, talking, and feeling, and actually, and you are doing this in a cartoon form, almost like a cartoon in your mind, yeah? And it's really crazy because not only do you see them bright and vividly, but you can also see them laughing. And they're laughing and eating and playing. Is that what you see?
Correct.
Give me 5. And that's what I do.
That's pretty good. I'm a little spooked.
Oh, don't be.
Oh my God!
That's what I do during my shows. I'll mix mind reading, hypnosis, magic.
Am I still in hypnosis right now? I feel like I'm in a daze.
Bit, yes.
What do you do to prepare for this?
So
what's the preparation behind this?
I go around the world and find the greatest teachers that are alive that have done this type of show, and I do seminars and run what's called Mentalist Masterclass.
Is that what you did with the NFL and
yeah,
NASA and all of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So actually teaching people how to use these skills, but in everyday life. So how to take these type of skills, and especially in the world that we're in right now, and showing people that the more we know people and the more we can read people, because technically a mentalist can read people at the highest level. But teaching people how to read people like a mentalist right now can keep college students safe, people in the city safe. Just the overall way the world's changing. The more we can read and see people around us for what they truly are here, it makes this easy to see nice and clear.
This is crazy that you were able to do that. So I'm still mind blown. I don't even know how to follow up with any other questions than what's on this card. When it comes to like NFL players, are you teaching them to basically kind of use their mind? I know they're used to using their bodies. So using their mind to be able to deliver on the field.
Absolutely, and the main thing is that peak performance. So if you take a professional athlete and you look at clinical hypnotherapy. So I've studied clinical hypnotherapy for about 25 years.
Okay.
And so when I'm on stage, I might be using hypnosis for entertainment, but that same hypnosis, the same place that you were just in, it's where your brain waves basically go to the place right before we sleep, and you kind of drift. So everything that you could see, we could share, right?
Got it.
Now, when I'm working with someone for peak performance, say, I'll take something that they do on the field and just basically and lightly tweak it. So, because they're already peak performers.
Right.
You know, someone who's in the NFL is already top of the food chain. So usually if I'm working with someone from the NFL, I am taking them and just honing a skill or getting that one flaw just a little more focused.
Correct it.
Yeah.
Where can people find out more about you?
MandrakeLive.com. And MandrakeLive.com, it will have everything from the Mentalist Masterclasses, show updates, everything that we have coming up this year.
What are you doing in Chicago? Do you live here?
I'm actually here doing the Mid-America Hypnosis Conference.
Oh, wow.
So right now, and it's a dream come true, I'm actually performing this weekend with Dr. Richard Bandler.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and I'm there with my brothers Tim Burt and Bruce Serban, wonderful media men, and they're going to be there presenting, and also one of my favorites, Chase Hughes. So he's a military operative, a wonderful man. So it's going to be a wonderful convention.
Is this your first time in Chicago?
Oh, I was a Chicago native. I was.
Oh, okay.
Here, yeah.
So you know all about Chicago. So it's like a homecoming.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
we are so happy that you came on the show. That was incredible.
So
it was Marilyn Monroe, Simon Cowell. The food, it said Italy/Italy, and my cartoon was Betty Boop. So you were on the money.
And this is so crazy because I kept seeing it.
We got 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
In that case, it's wonderful to meet you. That was fun. That was
But you saw it as a cartoon.
Oh, yeah.
So
I didn't see it as a cartoon, bright and vivid. Yeah. So.
All right. Have a good weekend, you guys. Thank you so much for joining this week of Chicago Now. We'll see you next week.